Hello, loves, and welcome. We're trying something a little different. Today we have a pick a cat reading. There's three cats: Andromeda, Charlie Murphy, and Daisy. They all have something they want to share with you. So take a look, put it on pause, and check out the timestamps for which kitty you've chosen. Enjoy. Hi, Andromeda. Would you like to pick a deck for the people? For our pick a cat reading? What do you think, Andromeda? Is it this one? This one? Oh. Oh, yeah? Hi, folks. You chose Andromeda. Andromeda is the tiger. She is the oldest of the three cats, although they're all quite young. And she has a message for you. Let's see what Andromeda wants to share with you. This is what brought you to this situation. This is your current situation. And this is the possible outcome, way to look at it, what energy you're bringing in. So energy that you're releasing, this is current, and this is coming in. All right. 2 major arcana. This is a lot. Justice. Have you been through a legal matter? Did you go through a divorce or a breakup? Are you selling a house? This feels like you just succeeded from a battle that bound you by contract. So whether that was a legal contract, like I was saying, a marriage, a court thing, a relationship, because our relationships, regardless of whether they're on paper or not, they are contracts. You're releasing a contract. And you're in a place where you really, you're feeling down by it. And you're coming out of the weather-worn battle sense. Emotionally, you're feeling drained. You know it's for the best. There is definitely a sense that you need to do some grieving, okay? You need to do some grieving. It's okay. Even though what you released was really important for you to release, like you needed to let it go, you still need to allow yourself the feeling sad. And even if you're looking back at the things you loved about what you needed to leave behind, the truth of the matter is, you know that it was for your highest and greatest good. And it's bringing you to a place of wisdom and better judgment. But be careful, okay? Don't place all of your eggs in one basket because you're, feeling a little overwhelmed right now. You don't want to pay homage to false idols. Take your time. Use precious judgment. Connect with your higher self. If you are a person of faith, do your prayers. If you are a person who is not of faith, then you need to think about what you believe. And this goes for everybody. We all need to think about what we believe when we're in the middle of grieving. Because what is it that we're grieving? We're not grieving the thing or the place or the time. We're grieving a part of ourselves that we needed to let go. And what we're doing is we're growing in this process. So use your time wisely so that you don't end up focusing too much on the wrong God. If you're starting a new habit, Make sure that you're going to balance it out with the wisdom of what brought you here, okay? Justice. And there's two rainbows, and I like how it's creating this little parentheses, and then there's these two little parentheses here. And it's coming out of this like wicker god's hips. Sacral energy is involved. You are here to create what your legacy is. What are you here to leave? You don't want it to burn to the ground. You can't help but thinking about Burning Man and how there is a ceremony at the end of the festival where folks, take their cares, concerns, and strifes, write them down and what they want to release, and they burn it at the end. So perhaps you could do a fire ritual like that. That might be really helpful for you to work out your grieving process in order to truly allow the joy of what you learned and who you are becoming to really set into motion, okay? Now, the two objects that I grabbed, one man-made object and one nature-made object. So we have a safety pin here, man-made. Yo, you've been doing a great job holding it together, okay? But now is the time for you to plant some seeds. And this is an apricot pit seed. So don't forget to nourish yourself with the joy, right? I mean, I've even got rainbow fabric with the hearts. Rainbow, rainbow, rainbow. Fruit, the seed. This is legacy. This will grow an entire new tree. But like all seeds, it has a protective coating. So it needs to go into the ground and soak up the water and the nutrients of the earth in order to crack that shell so that the seed inside will begin to sprout and grow. What you're going through isn't going to happen overnight, okay? We've got the 11, we've got a 6, and we've got a 20. So you didn't get into this situation overnight. You're not going to get out of it overnight. There's 2 over here, 2 and 2. 11, that's like 2, dashes if you're looking at it as the numerical, how you write it. Not using these, kind of Roman numerals, but writing an 11. Psh, psh, 2, 2, 2. Balance is needed. So in the way that if this is the balance within the divine, creating justice of a really uncomfortable situation, following the grieving, now you've got a 2 and a 2. This is a different type of balance. This is about having all 4 of your feet on the ground. Like animals walking, okay? Being upright, sometimes we're too heady. So if we can get down, kind of crawling around on all 4s and moving slowly like a really earthy animal, a bear, an ox. Even think about how a cat slinks around on all 4. To get all 4 of your feet on the ground, shake it off, and remember, you're really doing a great job holding it together. And first, you've got to eat the fruit. Eat the fruit. Eat the peach, eat the apricot, eat that nectarine. Nourish yourself. Feed yourself with the sweetness. And then from there, plant the seed. Don't forget to water the seed. Because your legacy is creative. And you have it within you to bring together and to hold together your dreams. All right, my dears. Andromeda loves you, and so do I. Mwah! Charlie Murphy. Come up to the decks. Come along, Charlie Murphy. All right, Charlie. Come on, Charlie. Which deck do the people need? Sweet love of kitten goodness. Again, one of my bright ideas. It didn't quite pan out. Good morning, loves. You chose Charlie Murphy. She is the youngest of the 3 kitties here at the Cat Coven. And she is a delight. She has a message for you. What does Charlie Murphy have to say to the people? Da-da-da-da. This deck is the Aquarian deck. So, given all this bonkers Aquarian stellium energy, including that new moon, let's see what Charlie Murphy wants to share with you. I'm going to pick 3 cards and I'll explain it as I go. Alrighty. First card out. This is the energy that is making its way out, that brought you where you're at. This is the current energy, and this is coming in, possible what's happening in the future. So let's take a peek at what we have, my dears. Oh, how beautiful. Oh, my goodness, look at this. Oh, all right, a blessing. Okay. Now, he is looking back. This is his sunset, the Knight of Swords. You, my dear, are victorious. You had a real mind over matter, heart over body experience. You held your ground, and you return to the scene. You returned with strength, and it didn't mean that you were not like battered and bruised, but you, my love, you conquered something deep within yourself. That mental strife, you conquered that. You have your sword over your shoulder, and you are walking back home to the true sense of home. Home is where the heart is. Where is your heart? Your heart is inside of you. Your heart is beating and growing and expanding and connecting with love and wisdom. And you are returning to that place anew. And it'll never be the same. And you won't forget the battles that you had to go through. But you know what? They're not going to weigh you down anymore. Once you get back there, you release them. And you lay them down. And those burdens are no longer yours. The war is over, my love. And now, coming to this, the 10 of Cups. Beautiful. Another rainbow. Andromeda's reading, there were 2 rainbows. We have the rainbow fabric here too, with these hearts. Look at this. You have all that it takes to manifest all of your dreams. All of your heartfelt dreams and desires are valid and beautiful, and they want to let you know that you can dream bigger. Your dreams can be bigger. Unifying the self, the aspects of the self, the overcoming weather-worn storms that we have experienced where we rebuild. And what we rebuild is stronger. So if there is an earthquake and a bridge topples, they rebuild it stronger. This rainbow bridge. You lost a lot. You lost a lot. You lost some people along the way. Some good people.
But you know what? That was not in vain. Those people are not gone. They're transferred, transmuted, and transformed onto another layer. They are existing in your life, in your experiences on a different dimension. They're not gone. Send them love and respect in your heart through a meditation. Bridge the gap with love, because your cup, the biggest cup here, is receiving, receiving, receiving. You are in a place of receiving. You are looking at yourself. The lover you seek is in your own eyes. Allow yourself to receive all of the riches of the divine. This will come through in dreams as well. So your daydreams, you will be dreaming big. And your sleeping dreams during your astral will be a guide to tell you where that's going. But over here, the Two of Wands. This character is thinking, where do I go next? This is about possibility. This is about where you are going to direct your passions. And I love that this character has like a crystal ball or a viewing orb, which will reflect 360. This is all around. You need to think bigger. Allow your passions to grow. Juggling some, if I do this, then that. If this happens, then that happens. You know what? Be careful about looking too far back. I think you need another card. Let's clarify. What does the Charlie Murphy viewers need to see to help explain this Two of Rods? What do the Charlie Murphy viewers need to see? This one wants to come out. Okay. All right, my loves. Let's see what can help. Oh. The Ten of Cups. Upright. The Ten of Pentacles. Now, these are very similar cards in the way that they have to do with our actualizations. Look, we have the Rainbow Bridge this way, and we have the archway in brick this way. Now, this is in reverse here. Fear. The fears. They will keep you from stepping forth to that castle. It may not look like what you want. It may not be what you planned. But there is a gift. And it is about completion to get to the next level. This is about where you live. What do you put out there? Like if you make things with your hands, what are you making? Do you cook for your loved ones? Do you do woodwork, metalwork? Do you like to paint or draw? Do you like to knit? What do you do with your hands? You need to do some more of that. Getting really grounded is super important. It may be a little scary for you to be a dreamer because perhaps your dreams hadn't worked out a whole lot in the past. And you're looking at that as a way to confirm. But that's just like autopilot. remember, this Knight of Swords came in and said, hey, you finished that old story. You finished that old story. Are you going to stop telling that story? Are you going to be quiet in your words, but your deeds are going to be doing the same thing over and over? The Lovers. The union within. The union without. And here we have a 6. Let go of that third party thinking. If the concept of, I need to do this in order to have that, I need to plan more in order to have my dreams come true and live in my house and have my castle and my family and all those wonderful, wonderful things I want to actualize on the planet. Nah, you don't. You don't. You don't need that. And I'm not saying that love answers all the calls, like romantic love, But when you fall in love with you, and you fall in love with life, and you fall in love with the things you make with your own hands, love finds you and fills you and opens you up so that you can continue to give and receive on a level that it feels like a forward motion, okay? So what do we have here? The man-made object, we have a tiny bell. Can you hear that? It's ridiculously quiet. There's a tiny bell. You're being called. You're being called to a new way of loving. You are being called to a new way of dreaming. You are being called to a new spirit voice. And it's going to be so quiet. It's going to be a quiet little soft baby calling. That doesn't mean it's not as real. And the nature-made item, we have cork. So these are cork from this tree, and I believe it grows in jungly kind of wet areas, and it's being over harvested, which makes me really sad. But I have a whole bunch of old corks I save. I use them for little jars and things that I make. But one thing I was thinking when I was looking at the cork is about staying afloat. Grab on. Even though what you're having to hold on to keep you afloat feels like it is endangered, it is old, it is rickety, it's still going to help keep you afloat. And another thing about the cork is that there's a way of turning a cork into a compass with the pin and the polarity and north. So listening to that tiny little call, that little wake-up call. It's going to start out small, it'll get bigger. But you're going to float to where you need to be. And you're going to hold on. And you're going to find your true north. Even if you thought your true north was somewhere and it's somewhere else, it's getting loftier. It's going to float you way above what you even thought could be. Because true love is within. We just see it in others, and we look for mirrors if we don't have it, and we don't feel it in ourselves, and we look to the others for that. But the truest, happiest, most in love people, they're like that either way. They're grateful for being alive, and they know that what they have to share and give is honest and real and true and valid and important in the world. So I hope that Miss Murphy reading was lovely for you, and that you have a fabulous time allowing these wonderful spaces of awake and asleep dreams to bring you to the true love that you really are. Oh, yeah. All right, loves. Check you later. Bye.
What do you think, Daisy? What do you think? Sniff them all.
Hello, loves. You chose Daisy. She's the middle child in the cat coven over here at the Alchemy Arts Charlotte's Web Kitty Annex West. And Daisy has a message for you she wants to share. This deck is the deck of metamorphosis. So you, my dears, are going through a metamorphosis. And let's see what message dear Daisy has for you. First card down, second card down, third card down. Current energy, what brought you there, where you're headed. All right, my loves, let's take a look at what we have. Do-da-da-dee-dee-dee. All right. This is the Knight of Cups. Look at this guy. He is, gosh, what is the bull-headed man? I gotta look that up. Hang on. Minotaur. Yeah, I forgot. Anyway, the Minotaur here is, let's just say that he is the guide and the protector of the labyrinth. So what you have been experiencing is a bit of an unraveling or a bit of a re-raveling. Really depends on how you look at it. And look, he has a little string. It's going all the way back. He's through the clouds. And who's this? I'm not sure. I know that there was some Athenian situation, Minos, and sacrifices were made. And then sacrifices were made again, if you will, all regarding making choices about how deep we want to go into keeping up the lineage. Now, you have made a lot of sacrifices, and in turn, you've been sacrificed. And I don't mean that you have been sacrificial lamb sacrificed, but you might have felt like you were. You were spared, okay? You were spared from something that could have gone a hell of a lot worse. And right now, you're feeling like Icarus. Look at this. You're going to fly to the sun with wax wings over here, right? We have the knave, the page of pentacles. So this here feels a little bit like a warning. Just a reminder. All right, you went through all this. It was really intense. You know, you were blessed by the divinity to find your way home to your psychic self, to your emotional stability. But you still feel a little bit hot and melted. You are still feeling like, oh man, speaking of the sacrifice, I went through all this. I created these wings so I could fly to the sun. I could fly to the sun, the inside, the who I am, the how I want to project. What do I want to put out into the world as the sense of I, into the physical world? now's the time to play it cool, my friends. But don't play it so cool that you feel frozen. Because remember, all you were trying to do is touch God. You made those choices. Perhaps you were impulsive. All right? You were passionate. No crime in that. The wings are made of wax, my loves, and they melted. But the thing about wax is that you can remelt it and reform it into something else. So rethink what this represents, whether this is a creative, romantic, or a spiritual, psychic kind of a knowing that really shifted for you. Remelt it, revisit it in a different way because the passions remain. It's just a timeout for you right now, all right? And what this timeout will bring you, over here, look, we have the 3 of Cups in reverse. We have Pygmalion and Galatea, and I'm going to flip it so you can see. Pygmalion and Galatea. Pygmalion was a sculptor, Galatea was his sculpture, and he spent so much time admiring his work, he fell in love with her, and she turned real. This is in reverse. What that's telling me is, you know, if there's this new thing, you need to weigh it out a little bit more. Now is not the time to be impulsive. Remember that timeout? Your wax wings. The wax needs to congeal and cool. You don't want to go forward falling madly in love with this new illusion that you created. You want it to be upright, whereas it's a mutual creation. So instead of focusing it on the other, bring it in. What passions do you love about yourself? What creative drives? What romantic feelings do you love about yourself? Do you want to bring into your future? Focus on that and how that feels. Get grounded. Allow yourself to cool down. And we're going to keep this upright. Love what you create. Love how you create who you are. Because that is what's going to bring you to this new place, to this new experience, to this new way of sensing and feeling your heart and your soul all the way into the physical world. So the 2 items I have here, I grabbed 2 things for everyone. One thing that was nature made and one thing that was man made. Nature made this beautiful peacock eye feather. You know what? Those of you that picked the daisy, you are beautiful inside and out. And it's time to fluff up your feathers, open that 3rd eye of yours, and find a way to shine. That doesn't make you haughty or conceited or somehow shallow, because you want to shine and you want to be dynamic and you want to be bold, because guess what? That is your birthright, my dear. And the man-made is one of my old test strips. So record your growth. Record your growth process if you haven't. All right? It will show you over time just how much you've grown, just how far you've come, because you are beautiful. You see it. Inside, you see your beauty. Outside, you express this. You are beautiful, worthy, gorgeous, spectacular, and go ahead and be dynamic. It's all right. It's not too much. It's just right. You are the love that you receive. Put it out, put it in, put it in, it comes out, boo-de-boo, blah-blah-blah. You are transforming into a gorgeous peacock, my loves. All right. I love you. Daisy loves you. Take care.